Are you happy to be here? Well, I am. Well, good. Well, we're going to talk about your secret hidden power. Have you ever really wondered whether we do have a power within us that we can contact? I've always wondered personally. But is it true that we do have a hidden power within us? Let's do this. Let's go to all our religions. And if you go to whether you're Christians, whether you're Muslim, Jewish, Hindus, Buddhists, Baha'is, whatever you are, basically they teach this, that there is something that we can contact within us. If you go to our great inventors, if you go to Alexander Bell, back then, Edison, some of the big inventors, they all tell you that they received their inspiration from beyond themselves. They said it did not come from themselves, beyond themselves. You see, we have, all of us, our own doorway that leads to the mystery of life and the universe. But we also have our own guiding system. And this guiding system that can really help us in every step of the way. So imagine there is a power within you that you can contact and really create and manifest whatever you want to. Well, let me tell you, there is a power hidden within you. And when you discover that, here's what you will learn about this power, that it is the great manifester, that you can manifest anything with it. But also, it's infinite wisdom, that you can contact this infinite wisdom, whether for principles, whether for insight, tips, intuition, and all. Now, here's what I would like to share with you. First thing you might say, well, Nabil, what's this power is all about, okay? Here's what this power is all about and what I know about this power. That we all have it. It just becomes more of a missing piece. And now, what I would like to share with you is really a quick story to why this power is within us. But before I do that, I want to just share with you a couple of things here, and this is what kind of, get me going with it. Now, a couple of minutes about my story, so you would know where I'm coming from. Of course, today it's about you. It's not about myself today, but so you would know where I'm coming from. I have been into self-development, really reading lots of books, thousands of books. I'm telling you, hundreds of books, whatever it was, seminars, workshops, you name it. I had coaches. I spent a lot of money, and it was worth every penny of it. Now, but also, I've written 2 books. This is not a commercial, but I've written 2 books in 1995 and 2017, The Prosperity System. Now, I've created, good amount of businesses and wealth in my early years, the age of 26 and up. And I built what I call, my small little, financial empire. 2008, 2009 comes along, and as you all know what happened with the collapse of the economy, I tanked with it myself. Everything was gone, right? So, I was very troubled with that. I really was, because wow, how the hell do you lose all that, So, yeah. And it seemed like I had a conversation with God. It's like earlier in my years. It's like, Nabil, hey, what do you want to do when you grow up? What do you want to do to contribute to your calling, to your purpose? And it seemed like at the time I said, you know what? I would like to actually help people and show people and teach people how to discover their secret hidden power. And he says, okay, well, that's why, I'm putting you through the troubles, the struggle, the pain. If you're going to teach that, you better learn how it feels, right? Okay. So during that time, of what I call more of an isolation, I kind of really did isolate myself from a lot. I've started writing this book, The Prosperity System, and use it in the same time, okay? Now, you might say, well, Nabil, listen, what do you know about this hidden power? I'll tell you what, I know a little bit about it, I think. But here's what I know, okay? That the beginning of wisdom, when you really realize that there is so much we don't know about life and the universe. We really, I mean, there's so much we don't know about it. But for whatever little we know, it can really impact our life in a big and significant way. And so you might be also asking yourself, you know, why are you teaching us the secret hidden power today? Here's why. I know one thing, this fact. No one can prosper without prospering and enriching others. And I have big goals with Beamer. And this is here where I feel that this is part of my mission. And when you discover this power within you, I'll tell you what, you're never the same. And that's why I wanted to share it with you. Are you ready to understand and share this power? Yeah. All right, good. So here's what I know. Am I still? Okay, good. So let me just move on. So you might say, where is this power? Where is it? Why is it hidden power? Why is it such a secret power? Well, here's why. See, when God created the world, he called all of us to come in and for a meeting. And he said, well, you know what? I am the creator. I'm going to create this beautiful story. It's called life. And I want you to create your own story with me. So what he says, I want you to become co-creator with me. He said, in order to become co-creator with me, I have to give you some of my power. So this is where things started. So we all come there, and actually there was two people there that you will be introduced to in a few minutes, Johnny and Bonnie. So they were there in this meeting. So God said, you know what, I'm not going to make it easy on you with this power. I'm going to give you some of my power, but let's hide it somewhere, this power. So some people said, hey, listen, why don't we hide it in the top of the mountain? He said, no, you'll learn how to climb the mountain, and then you will find it. It's easy. Some said, how about the bottom of the ocean? He said, no, you'll learn how to swim and scuba dive, and you'll find it real easy. Right? So everybody says, how about here and there and everywhere? Finally, he said, I'll tell you what, I know where to hide it. So he did hide this power. And guess where he hid this power? Within us. You got it. So he said, but it's up to you to discover it and learn how to use my power. So you can build your story within the story within the story that makes the life a story. Now, he also said, when you discover this power, you're halfway there. That's 50% that you're there, that you can use it. The other 50%, the other half, he said, that's when you learn how to program what you want so I can help you get it done. All right, so this is how it all started. Now, we say, well, what does it have to do with anything that we're doing with Beamer? See, because of this hidden power within us, it created in some of us something like, hey, am I good enough? It's always, am I good enough for this? Am I good enough to earn that kind of money? Am I deserving this? Am I good enough? It created that missing piece. And have you noticed, like a lot of times we read a book about life and we're hoping this is the one that I've been waiting for. Or you go to a seminar and you hope, like, this is the guy, he's going to tell me what it is that I've been waiting for. Have you ever felt that way? Yeah or no? All right, okay, good. So it created that, am I good enough? That missing piece. Now, what does it have to do with our Beamer business? A lot, and you will see. See, here's the things. In order to become, and you, for example, whatever your goal is, whether a group leader or organizational manager, team manager, OD, whatever it is, your goal is in the future. Your job is to bridge the gap between where you are to where you want to be. That's your problem. So you have the problem, and you need to solve that problem, right? Now, I'm introducing to you now Johnny and Bonnie, these two people, okay, that they want to become team managers. So we're going to see how their story goes. You can solve this problem in circles, zigzags, or a straight line, whatever which one you choose. But obviously with the circles, it's going to take you a long, long time, and you probably never get there. Zigzags, you know, it might get there, but it might shift you everywhere. And then you've got it to go straight line. There is a process discipline that we talk about in automatic habits and subconscious activities that you have to become aware of. So let's take a look at Johnny. So Johnny, he got into the business, loves Beamer technology, and he wants to build a business. So he goes to the Beamer Academy or Business Saturdays or whatever that he goes to. I need to stay here, okay. Yeah. So he goes there and he learned, you know, everything. You know, he graduated. You know, he was really good, you know, with everything, but yet he was still broke. He wants to become a team manager. Then we have Bonnie. It's a different story. She understands the system, even though, by the way, Johnny did understand the system. He did understand the system and how to follow things, but he still was not making it. He still broke. But then we've got Bonnie here, okay? And Bonnie, she understands the system, and she follows the system, but she's also got something different that she's consciously or unconsciously aware of, which is her own personal power, how to go about things. Because some people are unconscious about it. They are very successful, but they don't know why in reality. And you're going to find out what that is. But my job here today is to actually help Johnny, because he's the broke guy. So we're going to take him through the process. Now let's take a look here. What's holding Johnny and so many people from succeeding? What is holding? It's something called the paradigm. So what is the paradigm? The paradigm is that belief system. It's a multitude of belief systems that we have within us. Sometimes we're conscious about it. We know what it is. Most of the time, we're actually not. We don't know why we do what we do. So the paradigm is like this. We're swimming in this paradigm. We live in it, but we don't know why we're doing what we're doing. I'll give you an example. You know how, like, the birds, you know, the air to the birds, or the water to the fish. You know, the fish just swims in the water but doesn't know it's wet or anything. That's the environment that it lives in. We live in our own paradigm, and we don't know why. Remember when we talked about, you know, God, he says, okay, 50% of this here, when you discover that you do have a power within you, and then the other 50%, when you learn how to program the belief system, and that's what we're talking about here, this paradigm. So here's the question. Can I change my paradigm? Of course you can, because it was created by thoughts and beliefs and emotions, and it can be changed or deleted or, you know, deactivated by thoughts, beliefs, and emotions as well. Now, look how powerful this paradigm is. It controls everything about our life, whether health, whether relationships, logic, and even effectiveness, productivity, and also money. This paradigm to us is like Google. You know, like how when you go to Google and you put, for example, success, look at the, you know, the results, how many? Like, and then, you know, happy or make money, right? And you get all these, you know, billions and millions and results. You don't read them all. It basically, you read what, the top 10, the good with good search optimization, the top 10, maybe 12 or whatever, right? So this is here, our brain. It's this like Google. This paradigm, this is where it lives. There is a structured energy in our brain about everything, just about we experience in our life, just about everything. There's structured energy ready to be basically used. And we can trigger it by the environment or our own thoughts. So this is here our private Google. Structured energy, we have everything in this brain that we have. But let's take a look at Johnny's brain. Johnny, that's the one that we trying to help him out to become a team manager, right? So Johnny here, look at this. He's got financial pressure. He's not sure about his future. This is all that's going on. He starts businesses, and he never finished. He hates to invite people to take a look at the product. Does not like prospecting, does not like to deal with people, and he's expected, even though he was so good in the academy. I mean, he learned the presentation very well, to overcoming objections, everything. He learned. But he's still not there. So whenever Johnny comes into the Beamer business, and he says, well, you know what, I'm in the Beamer business. I'm going to start a Beamer business, and I'm going to make a lot of money. His brain pops up, and he says, oh, no, Johnny, remember the last 3, 4 businesses? You said exactly the same thing, and you failed. This energy is there that we need to fix it. Would you agree with me? Yeah. All right. So he's got all that stuff going on. So much going on in his brain. Now, let's take a look what he finally realizes. So Johnny finally realizes that, hey, you know, it's my belief system. It's my mindset. It's not the skill set. I succeeded in everything in my business, in the Beamer Academy. He graduated with honor, everything. He's done the right things. He understands the systems and all. But he finally realized it's not just the skill sets, it's the mindset that he needs to work on, because that's how he attracts things to himself within that. Now think about it this way. Today you're going to learn about this hidden secret power that we're talking about. You're going to learn how to program it, and you're going to learn how to really create anything you want to with these powers. But here's what I also want to mention to you. For the limited time that we have together here this morning, I cannot cover it all, but I'm going to give you enough for you to start, because this is here, it's about not a one-time deal. This is here, it's a way of living that you have to really work on it. So this is what's going on here with Johnny. Understand this, but he also understands that understanding precedes actions and transformation. And before you have that understanding, you have to understand how the mind works. You see, most of us, whenever we talk about the mind, they think this is for, hey, you know, psychologists to talk about it, or certain people. But the truth of it is, you have a mind, she's got a mind, I have a mind, he's got a mind, everybody got a mind. And it should be a priority to study the mind. And by the way, I love what Earl Nightingale said about the mind. He said, if you take the mind away from humans or from a person, all the other parts, you can find it in a pig or a horse. It's true. That's how powerful the mind we have. And we need to understand the mind. So to understand the mind, what we need the material that works on the mind. What is it? It's the thoughts, it's the thinking. So we have thought forces, and when we say we have thought forces, that means these forces, they do something with our consciousness. So we want to learn about that. Now, we also, Johnny became aware that he needs to start thinking in pictures. I want you to think of your home right now. Think of your home. Think of your car. Think of your front door. What happens when I said think of your home? You heard my voice. It activated your hearing senses. It went to the brain. That was a picture embedded in cells of recognition in the brain, and then it popped on the screen of your mind, picture of your home or your car or your front door, whatever it is. But if I say something in Chinese and you don't understand exactly what I said, except Peter Chung there, none of you will understand. That will be no pictures popped. No pictures. So we think in pictures. So I became aware of Dr. Thurman Fleet in 1934. He was a holistic healer, and he mastered the art of healings, okay? And he said, you know what the problem with the medical community is? That they treat symptoms, disease, the effects. But the truth of it is, we need to go to the cause if we're going to heal the whole body. And he said, in order to heal the whole body, we have to have a picture of the mind. But he said, the problem is, nobody's seen a picture of the mind. We have pictures just about of anything except our own mind. So the question to you is, what does your mind look like? What does your mind look like? Most of you, that's what I did, I thought the brain. But the brain is not the mind. The brain, it's an organ just like your hands and feet. So he said, what does your mind look like? He said, nobody ever seen the mind, so I'm going to create a picture of the mind, and I'm going to show you that. I have to tell you, what I saw, this diagram, the one I'm going to show you, picture of the mind, here's how it felt for me at the time when I first saw this and I understood how it works. It's like you have this big bag of pieces of puzzles, you know, those that you put together, and this is all information about life. And then, you know they're all important pieces. When I saw this, it's like you took this bag upside down and dump it out, and it seemed like all the pieces got assembled at the same time of understanding. And you're going to see that. Are you ready to see it? Yes. Okay, all right. Now, here's the mind. He said, this is how, since nobody's seen the mind, he said, I'm going to create a picture of the mind. Yeah, you might say, hey, you know, this is really simple. It looks, don't let the simplicity of it deceive you, really, because this is very powerful. Presidents of countries, they use it, and I have to tell you, CEOs of Fortune 100 companies, they use it. This is very powerful information here, and you follow me on this. So this is the mind, he says, okay, and this is the body. And you might say, oh, the body is so much smaller than the mind. See, the mind is in activity. Now, take a look at the mind. This is the conscious mind. We're going to divide that. And the subconscious mind. And then this is where the thinking mind, and this is here where we choose our thoughts. This is the feelings it causes in the subconscious level. And then we take action and we get the results. Let's break it down to a little bit more, okay? Here's what you have to understand. We have two minds. The conscious mind, I think we all know that this is where we choose, accept, or reject, originate thoughts, originates idea. But we also have the subconscious mind that cannot reject. It only can accept information. Cannot determine the difference between which is real and what is imagined, and that's the power of the subconscious mind that cannot tell the difference between pictures or feelings. I mean, you've heard people say, oh, you got to visualize. You got to feel it. That's why, and you will learn. Why is that? So keep this in mind, that the subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between what is imagined and how you feel, that sort of things. I'm going to give you an example. If you ever go watch a movie, and it's a sad movie, and you're watching it, right? It's sad, and it's got sad parts into it, and then you start crying. Why? Because the subconscious mind could not tell the difference. You were so much in it, could not tell the difference between what is real, what is imagined, even though you know you're sitting in a chair, watching TV, or in the theater, it's a movie, it's been directed, you paid for it, and you got popcorn in your hand, but you still cried. Because the subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between both. Okay. Remember, God said, okay, listen, I'm going to give you my power, and I'm going to give you how to do the paradigm, the belief system. I'm going to give you the tools to do it. See, we've got everything. We just need to become aware of it. We had the lack or the lack of awareness of its existence, but we have it. It is within us, this power. So he said, okay, I'm going to give you the how to see and hear and taste and touch and smell, and we're all very familiar with that, but this is designed for our own protection into life. And everything that in that Google brain that you saw, the energy, it's got a lot of this stuff here. Sometimes we can recall experiences. We can even hear it exactly the way it formed. But he said, okay, I'm going to give you now the tools how to work on this paradigm, because the paradigm lives in the subconscious mind, in this hidden power. He says, here's the tools. The imagination, I'm going to give you, this is a workshop that you can go in and you can design it any which way you want to. Then, he says, you know, the will. This is your ability to concentrate on one subject, and then, without the distraction of everything else. Let me tell you one thing about Beamer. This is something I know about Beamer. Remember when, you know, we have the PowerPoints about the, you know, all the benefits? One of it is what? Mental focus, concentrations, ability. We need this mental focus to accomplish goals. Now, reason, this is, you know, you reject and accept anything, you know, here and the intuition, that is the language. And God, whenever he told the story, you know, he said, I'm going to give you some of my power. He said, oh, by the way, my line of communication, you can come and talk to me, and I will be sending you messages on the intuition line. The intuition, it's when you know something without you knowing how you know it. It's when you know something happens, it's a pure energy. It comes, you know, you get an idea or something in your head, you know, like in your Beamer business, hey, go talk to so-and-so. That is messages coming into you, and you need to act on this. This is the intuition. It's something, like I said, when you know something without you knowing how you know it. The perception, that's your point of view about life. Now, the memory, you already know, and how so these are the 6 mental faculties that we have. Let's take a look at this. This is not Nabil's talk, by the way. This is Napoleon Hill. A lot of you read The Think and Grow Rich. This is here, it's about basically saying Napoleon Hill, and you know the story with him, of course, and how it took him 20 years to write The Think and Grow Rich and all that. But here's what he said, a person who has developed the intellectual faculties, those are the 6, the imagination, the reason, the will, the memory, intuition, what we talked about, can create anything that they want in their life or its equivalent. Because he pulled from all religions, from science, from experiences into that Think and Grow Rich, without violating the rights of others. So let's take a look. You've seen the picture of the mind. There are 7 billion people here on planet Earth, right? 7 billion. We all look the same way as you're going to see here. You've seen the conscious mind. The conscious mind deals with the past and the future. The subconscious mind only in the now. Because if there's no subconscious mind, by the way, we're dead, we're gone. The subconscious mind deals in the now. Take a look at this. You have to become a master at self-navigation. This is a picture of how you can really work with yourself. This is here, this line, the yellow, that is consciousness. It's got the plus and minus here. That's the law of polarity. You know, there is 2 sides to everything, hot and cold, health, illness, right? Wealth, poverty, north, south. So in order to understand and make sense with the mind, we have this consciousness, so we have a lot of information comes from here and it gets classified. So now, understand this. Everything we do in life, it's based on ignorance, here, the I, or knowledge. If we do things based on ignorance, and we do it long enough, okay, we start worrying about what we're doing and doubting what we do. The more we worry and doubt, creates fear on the subconscious level. It becomes structured energy because we keep repeating the same mistakes and the same habits. So that fear here creates vibration into the body, into anxiety, and suppresses depression, diseases, disintegrations. But if we do things based on knowledge, then we have an understanding. Understanding comes with a study. And this is where you study in the mind. Understanding, the more you have understanding of something, the more confidence and faith you develop. See, that faith is a vibration of energy. Let me tell you what faith is. Faith is like Wi-Fi. You know you can connect to it with your phone and talk, right? Faith is a vibration of energy, and you can tap into it, and that is in the process of manifesting. Now, when you have faith and confidence, well-being and suppressed. So we have all the tools. 7 billion people on planet Earth, we all have this. So here's why I'm teaching you about this. Because if you start worrying and doubting what you're doing with your Beamer business, then you come and say, you know what, why am I really, not making any money? You have to come from here. You say, you know what, I've been really more on the ignorance side. I don't understand the system. I'm not following. I have to work on this navigation here. We're going to take Johnny through a process in a few minutes, and you will see what I'm talking about. Now, back to Johnny. Johnny is what? Is going for a team manager. He's going for a team manager. He wants to understand how to go about it straight with a little zigzags. There's no such thing, just one straight line without any things in it. So he's going to go about it, but he wants to understand the process, discipline, automatic habits, subconscious activities, what's going on with him. And by the way, this is not just about Johnny. I have to tell you, this is also the people that become also group leaders and team manager, and they accomplish, or whatever, and they accomplish certain level of income, then they shut it off, because subconsciously, they shut it off. If they make the money in 3 months, and they say, hey, I'll take the other 9 months, basically vacation. It's very true. So let's take a look at the process that he's talking about. But also, Johnny became aware of this fact. 3% of the population, 3% of the population, earn 97% of all incomes and wealth. This is a true statement. This is not Nabil's creation. 3%. And by the way, if you are making 200,000 and above, you're in the 3%. So it does not take a whole lot to really go from, into that 3% kind of the club, the elite club, 3%. But let me tell you, when it comes to the Beamer business, the people that earn in high commission in Beamer, what makes them so different? The one that they are team managers or organizational managers, whatever. What makes them so different? The concept of sharing. Why they share? Because they understand the law of cause and effect. When they share it anywhere they go. With who they share it? With everybody that they meet. How they share it? They share it with a system very efficiently. So what is the system? This is the engine of duplications, and all of you have seen this probably 100 times. Of course, introducing the business, the introduction, which is the invite, the present, the experience, the follow-up, you engage, you train, you do all this. And Johnny came to the academy and he learned all this. But guess what? Nothing will happen unless you show up to do the work. Meaning you block in time for you to do it. And that's the toughest thing to do. And guess what? To do this, you have to develop new habits. That's how you have to develop new habits. Because remember, you're bridging the gap between where you are to where you're going. You're bridging that gap with new habits that's going to take you there. Because the old habits will not. It's either you have them and you're working on them and such. So, but Johnny, also very aware, he's got to have a goal to what he wants to accomplish. But he's also aware that 5% of his, in order for him to set a goal, and he sets it, the conscious mind only responsible for about 5% of accomplishing that goal. The other one, it's the subconscious mind that basically 95%. So he became very aware that his goal, the way he wants to accomplish things, he's got 95% against him. Do I have half hour or 45 minutes? Okay. All right, we'll go faster then. All right, now because here's Johnny become aware that, listen, to alter this paradigm, there is 3 different ways. Seeding, meaning the feelings. That's the seeding of vibration, how it feels. But also picturing, visualization, and affirmation, right? But they need to be done. This is like the seeds. And being in the now moment of the creation, that is the soil. So you have to take yourself into that now moment. That now moment, you can go to Think and Grow Rich, chapter 11, and you probably understand it, but it's pretty vague. I mean, I read it maybe 30, 40 times. What being in the now moment means. It's that sex transmutation. It's my favorite subject to talk about it, but hey, it takes maybe 2-3 hours, not today. Okay? So, but here's what I want you to do about the now moment. Do me a favor. I'm going to reveal a secret to you, and I hope you get it. I really do. Are you ready for it? Yes. Okay. Go like this. Put your hands up like that. Like this. And watch me, because I'm going to repeat it only once. Not twice, only once. I don't see hands, all the hands. All the hands up? Not hands like this, like this. Yeah, the way I have it. So I'm going to repeat it only once. I want you to take your hands and put it on your chin and leave it there. Okay, you changed. I said the chin. I got into your subconscious mind just for like 3 seconds. Okay? So here's what we do. Let's take a look. So, very quickly, Johnny became aware of the law of cause and effect. So he got the money how much money he wants, but he knows the focus should not be on the money, it should be on the cause, which is this cycle of duplications. This is what he needs. Now, he also knows why he's doing that. He's got to visualize the effect of feeling that his goal is already accomplished, is done. And that's what you got to do that. And you know why people don't succeed, most people? Because they don't take the time, 10 to 15 minutes in the morning, 10 to 15 minutes in the evening, and that's what it takes. Okay, let's take a Johnny. Johnny, we're going to take him through the process. You're going to love this. This is usually when I do a whole seminar, we spend half a day on this baby here. But here's what Johnny is. Johnny is making $25,000 a year, okay? We're going to call him an X person. This X person here, basically he's got X programming because he accepted the fact that he's a $50,000 a year man, period. So Johnny is also thinking thoughts like his paradigm. The opportunity that comes to him, it stays within the $50,000 a year. It doesn't go any further because he's an X guy. We're going to call him. So he comes to the Beamer business, and guess what? He gets a great idea. He says, I want to make $25,000 a month. So he's going from $50,000 a year to $25,000 a month, right? We're going to call it a Y idea. Johnny become aware that, hey, listen, he's got the Y idea on the conscious level. It needs to be driven into the X right here with the new habits that's going to take him there. Johnny is thinking thoughts like this, and he's going through the cycle. Remember the cycle in the cycle of distributor, how, one day things working, one day it's not, and, up and down, up and down. We do that in the academy. We have a slide on that one. But every time Johnny is doing anything like this, he's trying to accomplish that $25,000 a month, but he's going through the cycle. One thing's, he does presentation here. It works for everybody, for the people he's doing it with. Then the next day, it doesn't work. Why? He finally realizes, hey, you got to learn the 4 personalities. We're not dealing just with one people. So it's a learning process for Johnny that he's working continuously on his life. But guess what? He talks to his wife. I'm going to make $25,000 a month. His cousin. And his cousin says, hey, you are crazy. And a lot of people will go back to where they are, $50,000 a year. And he said, you know what? I give up. Never realizes that he needs to work on this, the paradigm, the belief system that's going to take him there, the new habits. So he's working on it, and he's doing other activities. visualizing, doing it twice a day, feeling the feelings of, hey, it's been accomplished, developing new habits, because see, we think between 40 to 50,000 thoughts a day. 90% of those thoughts are exactly the same thoughts every single day. 90% of those 40 to 50,000 thoughts, they're exactly the same thoughts. So something needs to be changed on that. Now, this is here where Johnny is learning all this. Like I said, I do this truly. We take about half a day with usually the audience that I have, and we take certain cases one by one and how it works. So their focus, Johnny is focusing on the effect, not on the effect, and the cause, that cycle of duplication. Finally, he will get into the why, $25,000 a month. Of course, I went through this very fast, obviously, because like I said, I'll teach you as much as I can today just to give you an idea so you can start working in that paradigm and the belief system. But here's what I will tell you. The minute you become aware of this hidden power within you, be grateful and thankful for it, because the more you are grateful and thankful for it, the more it works for you. Actually, the more that intuition, that communication line, it becomes even more. So you have to trust that intuition line that comes to us. So we all have this power within us. The only missing piece is, it's really the lack of awareness. So if it's existent, then we have it. But we have it, and that's when you change from am I good enough to I am good enough. You have that power. Learn how to program that belief system, dig into it, and learn all you can learn about it. I wish if I had more time with you, but I know he's been giving me the stuff back there, you know. So I want to thank you for the time. I appreciate, you being here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.